Hey lore lovers! I got something different for you today.
Ooh, is this the winner to the story engine contest?
Funny you should mention that, because I actually do have an announcement for that contest. But it's not what this video is about. I'd like to announce the winner of the story contest is... nobody! Not one person entered the contest.
Aw, sad day. You know, this is more disappointing than finding out you weren't adopted.
Thanks. That's helpful. Yes, lore lovers, it's true. Nobody entered the story engine contest. It is a little disheartening. But life moves on, and we gotta stay positive, right? Although I was a bit bummed out at first, I realized it was probably unfair of me to ask you to tell me a story, since I am your storyteller. You probably tune in to hear myths and legends from around the world in some of my stories, so it was probably unfair of me to ask you to tell me one. I will have more contests in the future, but I don't think there will be any storytelling ones. Most likely giveaways and drawings and stuff like that. And I'm planning one, at least, in the immediate future, so stay tuned for that. With that said, that leads me to today's video. The winner of the contest was going to kick off this new story series. However, I have a different story for you now.
Are you telling a story about how disappointed you are in all of them? So disappointed, lore lovers. It was such a great story prompt, too!
No, and I'm not disappointed in anyone at all. Well, lore lovers, as you may know, I love telling stories. I have shared all sorts on here, including a series called Bedtime Stories.
Yeah, you just reading from a book. How exhilarating. You know, I fell asleep in those ones.
That was the point. That's why they're called Bedtime Stories. I wanted to tell a story in a soft tone that one could just fall asleep to.
Such a great idea! Hey, random stranger, you should check out this YouTube channel, Tara's Tales. It'll put you to sleep. How entertaining is that?
Hey, some people have liked that series and some haven't. To each their own. We're learning what works and what doesn't as this channel grows. But with that in mind, I have a new video series for you today. I call it Campfire Stories.
Campfire Stories?
Yes, in these videos it will just be me telling a story around a campfire. And here is the first one. I really hope you like it. If you do, or if you don't, let me know in the comments down below. And without further ado, lore lovers, let me share with you the first of many campfire stories. The Intruder by T.S. Kolunga. My head rested on my pillow as I stared at the infinite void of darkness between the ceiling and myself. I had just woken. Sleep still beckoned me to his chambers. As much as I wished to return to dreamland, something had woken me. It wasn't my restless, aching knees. For once they were still. I paused, listening. Silence was my reply. The familiar scratches on my window from a nearby branch never came. It was one of those bleak, windless February nights. The chill air didn't move, but the cold chill crept into every crevice. No, the night was as quiet and calm as a forgotten tune. Perhaps a dream awoke me, one of fantasy and wonder that escapes the memory upon awakening. No, it was something else, something more sinister. I could feel it. My mind began to imagine thieves or unknown monsters lurking below, raiding my office, feeding in my kitchen, and lounging in my chair. The last thought caused me to smile. I imagined a hulking, horned, four-armed monster sipping tea and reading in front of a fire, nestled in my favorite chair. The funny thought faded as I heard a noise above me. My heart raced as I heard it again. Clump thump. Clump thump, clump thump. It was a sound of footsteps, heavy, booted footsteps. They were slow, yet moved with purpose. Clump, There was the heel hitting the attic floor.
Thump.
There was the rest of the foot following suit. The footsteps were just above me, and as alarmed as I was, I grew confused. Not only should nothing be in the attic, but where these footsteps were, just above me, there was no room. There was hardly any room in the attic. It was filled with boxes of long forgotten and fading memories. I listened to the slow, hypnotic footsteps, unsure of what to do. They moved past the bedroom above me. For a moment, they were gone. All was quiet, and the uneasy feeling was gone. I'll investigate in the morning, I thought to myself as my eyes closed. Probably just my imagination. As sleep was taking me, I bolted upright in my bed, eyes wide. A crash echoed from just down the hallway. It was the sound of the attic stairs unfolding and hitting the ground with no one there to ease the fall.
Clump thump. Clump thump.
The footsteps were now on the stairs. Unsure of what to do, I cowered under my blankets, hoping whatever it was would leave me be.
Clump thump. Clump thump.
The footsteps grew closer. Louder.
Clump thump. Clump thump.
I held my mouth closed as whatever it was began to rattle the doorknob of my bedroom, trying to get in. After an eternity, the door clicked and slowly inched open with a loud creak. I poked my head out from atop the covers and saw a cloud of shadow waft through the room. It hid the dresser and furniture before finally blotting out the window. I was in complete darkness, unable to see. Before the dark cloud had invaded the room entirely, I had seen it though. A figure of a tall, hunched man, as if he could barely fit through the doorway.
Clump thump. Clump thump. Clump thump.
The figure came towards the bed. The unnerving quiet was all I could hear. The room grew colder and I shivered not just from cold but fear. I knew where the figure was. I didn't know what he wanted or how he got in, but I could tell he was just beside the bed, hunched over me, watching me, not moving, not making a sound, just watching. Then I heard it, the slightest of sounds, like leather rubbing against leather, and then the figure spoke, drawing out every syllable and speaking in a hissing whisper that made my hair stand on end. Wake up! My eyes opened and the sun illuminated the room. My eyes hurt from the sudden light, but I didn't care. The figure was gone. My heart pounded as I looked around. It was just a dream, a terrible, terrible dream. As I turned, my feet touching the ground, my heart stopped. My bedroom door was open, and down the hall I could hear it. Clump thump, clump thump, clump thump.